Hi guys, and welcome back. Today we're talking about Grant Cardone's the Closure Survival Guide, and we will discuss it. I think really controversial this time, and let you know what Juan and my thoughts are about this book of Grant Cardone.
Okay. Hey guys, welcome to another week's video at Easy Business Books. And today, like Senia said, we're doing a book review about Grant Cardone's book. The title of the book is The Closure Survival's Guide. And it's a great thing. It's a great thing that we're doing this particular book because I particularly love this book, but then Senia has something else to say about it, you know, and I want to hear maybe something I missed. So Senia, what is it can you say something good about the book first?
Yeah, it's not that I'm like, oh, it's like a book I will never read it again, and I think it was a waste of time. I'm not saying that. Okay. But I'm not like, oh my gosh, it's the best book ever, and I need to like read it every week. Right. That's what I'm saying here. So in general, I really like the let's say the general part, where the principles of sales get explained by Grant Cardone, what he thinks, like what is important, and also what makes the difference between someone who is closing deals and someone who is not closing deals. Because I also like his point of view that closing something is not necessarily like a typical sales thing, how we maybe see it in a way, like in business. Like everyone is a salesperson and everyone is doing is closing. Doesn't matter if it's like getting married, having a relationship, in general, getting other people to agree with you. And I really like that point of view. And also, like I said, the principles he explains, I would say, in the beginning of the book.
I love that specifically example you used, even when you get married, because you kind of have to convince someone to say yes. You know, it's like you might not get that yes the first time, and then you do a little extra work and you say, "You want to marry me now?" No, okay, let's go and go and go, and eventually, hopefully, you get that yes. You know, I agree with you, and what I would add to that is that I like the mentality. Like when a lot of people think of sales, right? They have like this bad feeling towards it because maybe they had bad experiences with it, or someone was really, really pushy to them, right? But then he just kind of made me realize that a lot of people who are in sales, yes, what they do is they have a solution to a problem, right? And I mean, Senia, you and I are both in business, and we are in the business of helping other people with their financial situation so that they can feel better about them, right? And then we have many ways on how we do that. And so that's why when we connect with other people and we tell them about how they can, well, go from point A to point B, financially speaking, for me, it made me feel more confident to just really, when I see that they're making a mistake, then that not to take a note, because I know what I have is good for them. And then they telling me, no, it's like, hey, no, Juan, let me think about it. I'm like, no, man, I have what you need. No, I cannot allow you not to take this or not to go this way, because don't waste time. We have what you need. I like that change of mentality about it, rather than, oh, I hope he takes this, or I hope he doesn't think I'm too pushy. But then there are other things that he goes later into this book about, like you said, where he tells you basically how to handle every single situation when you get like a rejection or something. And I like most of them. I wouldn't say like all the tips that he gave I would personally use. But you're right, it was totally different than the Gary V book, where he talked in a different manner how to approach it. I mean, I think you have a better, you had a different way of interpreting that.
Yeah, like totally have to agree with you that like this point of view on sales, because like kind of everyone hates salespeople. No one wants to be a salesperson, but basically that's all what we all do every day in our life. Yeah. With like realizing it. And also with like, if I don't close the deal, it's like a lose-lose situation. If I really have a product, I know it's changing the life of the other person for the better.
Mm-hmm.
But to come back to the point, which I didn't really like, I mean, the objections are good. And that's why I say it's not that I think it was a waste of time. And this is also a book, I listened to it in audio, which I can imagine it would be a good thing to have it like as a paper book or an ebook that you can like go through the objections and like just look it up and remember it, learn it a little bit like vocabulary. And it's really good to get familiar with like how you can handle different objections and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But for me, it felt a little bit like one solution serves it all. And I personally don't like that, because I think we're all unique beings and we have our unique approaches, we have our own characteristics, we have our personalities, we have our experiences. They're like, I mean, we're as unique as our fingerprint. Yeah. And that's what I'm all about. Like, be your most authentic self. Look what other people are doing, how other people doing it. Doesn't matter if it's about like you're living your life, building your business, whatever. And then go cherry picking and pick whatever you like and what feels most aligned with you. And that's the critical point I see in this book, because for me, I mean, sure, you can pick the objections and the things you liked, he was saying, but the general tone for me of that book is too much like, you have to do it that way and that's how it should be.
Yeah. But he also said it himself. He's like, hey, you guys, you might think I'm bananas when I tell you do this and that, but guess what? It works. You might you might think it might not work, or it might not necessarily be the right time to use this, but that's okay. I have other tips for different situations that you can have. Now, but at the very least, I would, while I agree with the whole thing that you said, that there's not one size fits all type of thing, but he did give a lot of different scenarios and different ways on how to approach those different scenarios. For example, when they talk about real estate, for example, right? If you're in the business of selling houses, right? And then when you have your client, and then the client says something like, "Oh, let me talk to my spouse about it."
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, right. And then he gave like, I think 4 or 3 different ways on how to solve that, because I'm not to spoil the book or anything, but he gives you 4 alternatives on how to approach that part.
Yeah.
Is that the only 4 ways on how to approach that? No, absolutely no. I agree with that. But man, I'm just gonna be more bold. That's what I got from Cardone. Yeah. Not just ask for the close, not.
But like, what you have to keep in mind, I mean, Grant Cardone is like, let's say like a hardcore salesperson.
Yeah.
And like, that's what you see in that book. They're like, yes, you have to be more bold, but I mean, he also says that a few times, I think, with a few approaches where it's like, that's for like master closers or master sellers, where it's like,
yeah.
And I totally agree with that. And I think he says it even in the first few capitals, where it's like, you have to train it. It's not that you read it and then you just learn it like vocabulary and then you repeat it in the next sales conversations or the next conversation you have where you want to close someone. Mm-hmm. And that's really important. You have to train it and see what fits for you. That's why he also gives like different approaches to be like, hey, you have these 4 options, in my opinions, try what works best for you. Yeah. I think that's because I'm like naturally not really the, let's say, hard close person or hard sales person. Mm-hmm. And that's why I don't feel comfortable with like all of the approaches. But that's just like a personal thing. And maybe it has also to do with the fact that I haven't trained it yet. Maybe that's changing as well. I don't know. But I can just say, like, if you're more like a soft salesperson, like I am, you will definitely get the feeling. But I totally agree with you that the main learning for me from that book is be more bold. And if you if you hear a no once, it's not necessary if you continue to ask, I don't mean like in 5-minute like distance, but in general to ask like more often, that's not necessarily being pushy if you know you can help that person, because people need up to like 5 times or even more to that you ask them if they want to do the sale, if they want to buy it. And if they agree in the first time, it's nearly a miracle. And if you start with sales, you're not aware of that. You think like, oh, I asked once. If I ask like a second time, I will be that pushy salesperson everyone hates. And I think this is, as a main message for me, that's my main takeaway of the book. And that's the message I really, really like and really is a huge learning for me. What about you?
I mean, just to wrap it off, there are a big chunk of this book is about how dealing with certain objections when you meet with potential clients, right? Potential customers, potential business partners also. And because marriage is also partnership. Yeah. So he does explain how to go about it in 2, 3, 4 different ways on how to approach it. But I agree with that other part that you said. For me, the big takeaway, and that a lot of people can take away from this, is if you're someone that you don't feel so comfortable about being in sales, so to speak, right? This book will definitely make you view that differently, right? That you're not just selling, so to speak, but really you are helping someone because you have the solution to their problem, and you not giving that solution to the problem is you're not just doing a favor to you, but that person as well.
Yeah.
You know? So that definitely is what makes me be more bold now.
Yeah.
That makes me be more bold, really. When I see someone, if my enemies are making a mistake, then, I won't interrupt them. Or, somebody that's like, but if I see someone that I like or someone I just meet and I have a solution to their problem, they're like, no, I'm not going to take no for an answer. Come, let's do this. Let's talk. And guys, if you like this review, just let us know down in the comments. We would also love to hear your takes on this. We do also live discussions on this, more details about that in the description as well. And last but not least, if you like this book and you want to get it either in audio form or and the actual book, there is a link in the description down below. You just click it, takes you right there, and boom, you got the book.
Exactly. And don't forget to subscribe, like hit the bell if you like the video and want to hear more of it. And I mean, at least in the video, in the end, we could agree that there are some learnings in the book that you just need to pick out the things that work for you. And yeah, awesome discussion. Thank you, Juan, for having it a little bit more controversial this time. And see you guys soon.
Let's fight more often.
Yeah, we should do that.
Take care.
Bye.